right, man. Friday, I'm shooting this, so hey, trying to cut my weekend short by knocking out some things tonight, man. So let's talk about the Lions. I had this topic in the queue for quite some time this week. Finally getting to it. I think a lot of Lions fans and some outsiders believe it might be a foregone conclusion that the NFC North is the Lions division to lose, and then they up next to establish some type of dominance over the division. I mean, once you look at the division, you can check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist and NFC North playlist too. I don't think anything with the Detroit Lions is a foregone conclusion. As I warned y'all versus Carolina, it's always a wait and approach, a see with the Lions, because it just feels like it's some mythical curse over the franchise. Okay, that's what it feels like. So I always take a wait and approach, see, wait and see approach, and that's what it is. I mean, you look at the outlook of the division. I think the Packers defense was really good with the two Georgia boys up front. Jair Alexander, I loved him coming out the draft. I was hoping the Lions would take him. He is big time, and I'm not too sour on Jordan Love neither. I think this year, in a little bit of time to see him in that second half, I forget who it was. He looks like he got a big arm. He got some athleticism, and hopefully he learned something. He learned something from Aaron Rodgers, but I think he got some talent. Minnesota, I think they talented, and I predicted that they would probably want to run away with the NFC North, and they did. It might not have been in the fashion that I believe, especially losing to Green Bay the way they did at the end of the season, but offensively, well, don't you like? Irv Smith just came back. T.J. Hockenson over there seemed to be clicking with Kirk. Love Adam Thielen as a chain mover and a reliable possession receiver. KJ Osborne from the area playing pretty well, and Justin Jefferson might be the best receiver in football. And they invested into their offensive line. So, Minnesota's still the king until further notice right now. And then the Chicago Bears, I mean, if it ain't already up, I had a video about the Bears, and they're having or are going to have discussions to either draft Bryce Young and trade Justin Fields, or I think the other side of the discussion, maybe move down and and get some picks to build around Fields. So they pretty much stripped the team of their talent, and they really starting over. But with a lot of cap space, that necessarily don't mean nothing. We've seen the football team or the Commanders over a lifetime have a tremendous amount of cap space, and spend big on guys like Albert Haynesworth and all these other guys, and it hasn't really worked out. So free agency isn't always a foregone conclusion that it's going to work. A lot of people think you spend in football is a camaraderie based team, so when you plug somebody in, it has to work. But yeah, it's not a foregone conclusion that Minnesota gonna run away with it, Detroit gonna run away with it, Green Bay gonna reestablish itself, where Chicago come out of nowhere. I think it's a work in progress division. Minnesota won it this year, and won it, by the looks of the record. If you just look at the numbers, you think they ran away with it, but I don't think the discrepancy between Detroit, Green Bay, and Minnesota was that big. But yeah, Detroit is building something. I think Minnesota, you just got to answer some questions on defense. And Detroit, that's a question, but I think they got healthy. And they got a lot of guys coming in next year that's going to be healthy. I heard Tracy Walker already running. So that's a good sign. So they got guys who are getting healthy. And that's going to be their biggest free agency moves, is just getting guys back healthy and contributing. So, and not starting off with an arm or leg behind their back, being able to hit the offseason healthy, being able to hit the season healthy. Just from a defensive aspect, the Lions are going to get better. Now you sprinkle in some picks, some free agents here and there. Now it's just about growing as a unit, So, and I can see why people look like, man, Detroit, but our history has always told us be ginger with the Lions, tread slowly with the Lions. And I think anybody that's been Lions fans long enough, no, you can't just get too optimistic. They got to go out there and do it. And will they? Only time will tell. But the division, if Aaron Rodgers move on, is definitely at an impasse. So it's right for the pickings, but you don't have to go out there and rush it. Like Brad Holmes said, you're not one player away. You said, well, will you believe Minnesota's one player away? I think they're a few players away. I mean, secondary, up front, in the middle, a difference maker. There might be 2 or 3 defensive players away. That's not easy to do when you got all that talent over there that you're paying. So they got a couple different. But then again, it's just not just 1 or 2 difference makers. It's like gelling as a unit, and that's why you this is why you like young guys, and maybe guys like Isaiah Bugs, Bonito Jones, guys like that, because yeah, they castaways from other teams, but they still young enough and hungry enough where you can mold. You can still mold them. With a veteran player, he is what he is. This is what I'm used to. This is what we call it. And it's hard to kind of get them to kind of mold to other teams. So your defense really kind of got, when you go out there and you say, well, we want to go out there and get a Micah Parsons person. Let's say Micah Parsons was free, and 3 more years down the line, he free. He said, this is what I like to do. This is what I want to do. You're not going to say, well, we want you to do a little bit something different. And of course, if the money right, he going to be like, okay, I'm open to it. I got paid. No, you want him to come in and do what he do. With a younger player, you can kind of say, you know what, this is what I see. I think he'd be better doing this. Could you try this? And they more receptive to it, and they more in the beginning. They young enough to know that, you know what, I'm hungry enough to try something different. I'm open-minded to try something different. And it's more likely that they'll kind of morph or kind of grow with a younger team. And that's why you want younger players. It's cheaper, they're easier to mold, and you know what I'm saying? And then you want to sprinkle that veteran. And when you go out there and get veteran players, and this for everybody listening in the National Football League, you want to get veteran players that fit what you need. And that's what they do. If we playing a Tampa 2, predominantly defense, well, you know what? I'm not going to go get Jalen Ramsey per se. He like to be man coverage. He like to follow dudes around the field. Okay, I want a man coverage corner. That's what I want. Now, he can play Tampa 2, but come on, I can go get a young guy that's great at playing Tampa 2 for cheaper and build him up. So youth is very important in the National Football League. So I mean, both when you look at the top 2 teams in the division, Minnesota and Detroit, the question is what? Defense. That's the question. Defense. And it always boils down to defense for right now, but developing your young players and being healthy. And a dash of luck. So you can go out here, Minnesota can make 1,000 big moves next year. Detroit can make the right perfect moves. But if their quarterbacks go down, then what? If Justin Jefferson go down, then what? St. Brown go down, then what? So, health is key, but the division is going to be interesting. I don't know what Aaron Rodgers want to do. Christian Watson stepping it up, but obviously they need a guy, and they just refuse to go get a guy. That's just what it is. They refuse to go out there and spend. When they do spend money, it's guys like Charles Woodson, Julius Peppers, it's guys like Reggie White. They ain't going out there to get another Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, unless it's for the Lolo. For what they got Amari Cooper for, they should have went to get Amari Cooper from Dallas. Dallas might have upcharged them for Aaron Rodgers putting a foot up their butt for his whole entire career. But yeah, you should have went out and got Amari Cooper. They set Aaron Rodgers up for failure this year. Well, his play dropped off. Of course it did. You got rid of probably a top 2, if not the best wide receiver in football, Devontae Adams. That's common sense. And we know they're not no real deep free agent team, especially when it comes to offense. So, he might just be looking to move out of there. And you like, where could he go? It's a lot of places he can go that he'll fit right on in. So, the Raiders, him and McDaniels might be a match made in heaven, though I think Mac Jones is better for the Raiders. But, I mean, obviously, we'll have to see something and see what work at Pittsburgh and places like that, Indianapolis. But yeah, the division, you know, on paper it looked like Minnesota and Detroit, but a big time offseason from Chicago could change it. They can change it. The league loves Chicago. They want them original teams just like us. You know, but Bryce Young, it seemed like you fully hitting the reset button. Hey man, but I'm not gonna tell you Bryce Young not better than Justin Fields or vice versa. I ain't really broke down Bryce Young tape. But if you say, you know, new regime want to pick their own guy, I mean, you know they do. I do. You know, so you know they want to pick their own guy. But moving forward, but yeah, it's bright. Who's gonna make the right adjustments? Who's gonna be healthy? So it's a nice looking division. You know, Minnesota gonna have some competition next year. But I say this: Minnesota can't get complacent, contempt. Detroit can't say, "Oh, the national media loves us. We're up next. We're up next. We're entitled to this." No, you're not. You're the Lions still. And it's coming from a Lions fan that been through the ups and downs and the joy and pain like Frankie Beverly and Mays. Detroit love Frankie Beverly Mays. So no, neither one, Detroit or Minnesota, can't say, yeah, we the big. Nah, we ain't in that position. You know, Detroit must remain humble, hungry, and healthy. The Triple H's, even though they selling the WWE, I think it's the right move because shit, WWE trash. I started watching it when John Cena came in rapping higgity higgity hoogity 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 higgity higgity. I'm like, man, what is this? I said, bruh, who is this? And I like John Cena in movies and Peacemaker in the TV show. I sure do. But from my aspect of it, when he came in, that was a corny, kind of corny. He came in. I'm out of here, dude. And I found out it was fake too. Yeah, I was out of there. But I don't think anybody can be comfortable with establishing dominance over the NFC North. But if you Minnesota and you Detroit, you like your chances. If you bring back Aaron Rodgers and give him some help, in Green Bay, you like your chances. In Chicago, you have a big offseason and stick around with Justin Fields. I think he big time, but it's my opinion. But hey, check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance of notifications. We go live and drop video. Check out the NFC North playlist, Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Link tree, the first link in the description. Peace.